Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, all. How are you doing, all?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. A very warm and pleasant good afternoon to one and
Good
all.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you? How are you, Charvi?
Fine, sir.
Okay. And what about others? All are good, keeping well, safe and sound. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Very well. Very well. Gone through the chapter. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All of you? All of you have read it? Or no? Or only few of you? What about others? So the new word for you, I had sent you already, it is mentioned here. What is the word? Who is going to read the new word, today's word? Anyone?
Leviathan.
Leviathan, okay. So the word is Leviathan, and the meaning is immense size or immense power of something, or you could say very large, very big, and the word is Leviathan. Leviathan, that is the word, that is the pronunciation, Leviathan, and the meaning is immense size of something or power of something or something very, very big. Can we make a sentence? Anybody can make a sentence with the word Leviathan? Any one of you? Make a sentence with the word
The
Leviathan.
money politicians have is Leviathan.
The politicians hold Leviathan amount of money. Okay, Leviathan, big amount of money. I observed a Leviathan rock at the river. So that is the word. And now if we talk about the chapter, we had begun the chapter and the name of the chapter is The Hack Driver, written by Sinclair Lewis. We had seen the introduction to the character and read the summary of the chapter yesterday. So the story is about a simple, gullible, ordinary graduate in law, and he is none other than our author, the author of the chapter, that is Sinclair Lewis. He is sharing his own experience, his own incident with us, and he said that when he graduated from the college in law, he was working in a law firm as a clerk. Actually, he thought of practicing as a lawyer, but as I told you already, that straight away you cannot go and practice it. You have to learn many things practically under mentor, under the able and experienced lawyers in all the job. So here also he was practicing the law in a law firm, but instead of solving the case like detective, etc., he was given the case of delivery. Go and deliver this someone, go and deliver the notice, etc. So therefore he was not happy, because first of all author belonged to countryside. He loved enjoying countryside, and here he was living in a city. So therefore he was not happy, because again and again he was disturbed. He was sent to far away places, distant places where there were not many facility, no buses, no transportation. Still he had to go, because he had to learn, he had to practice. And one day he got a task to deliver a summon to Mr. Oliver Lutkin. He had to go to a village called New Mullion, where this person, Oliver Lutkin, was living. And Oliver Lutkin was a very clever man. He was a hack driver, and he had got the summon, he had got the notice already 4 or 5 times, but still he did not accept it, did not acknowledge it, did not present himself before the court. So finally, the law firm or the company thought of sending someone and handing the summon to Mr. Oliver Lutkin personally. And this task was given to the author. Author reaches there, he hires a cab driver, he hires a taxi driver, that is hack driver Oliver Lutkin, and Oliver Lutkin very cunningly, very cleverly cooked the story. He cooked his own fantasy, his own false story, and he won the confidence and faith of the lawyer. So lawyer was simple man and gullible man. Therefore, very easily he was influenced by the kindness, by the personality, by the conversation of clever and cunning Oliver Lutkin. Oliver named himself Bill Magnuson. Oliver said that I am Bill Magnuson and I am a hack driver. I help the passenger taking one place to another place, and if you want, I can help you. And this way he won the confidence of him. And the author told him about Oliver Lutkin, that I have to present summon a notice to him personally. So he said, okay, I can help you finding him out, but I will charge some money. I will charge around $2 per hour. And he took him everywhere. First he took him to a fruit shop, then Gustav shop, then pool room, then to his mother's house, and so many places. Finally he didn't meet him. He was unable to find Oliver Lutkin, because Oliver Lutkin was in disguise of the person Bill Magnuson. And he tricked him, he cheated him, he befooled him very, very nicely and cleverly. So he returned again, and when he went to the office, his boss got very angry. He said, how could you behave such irresponsibly? And his boss sent another person, another companion of his with him to find the man. And when they returned again to the village, New Mullion, Oliver Lutkin was there outside the railway station. He was talking to the lady, and this was the same lady who had chased them with the iron rod. But this lady was Oliver Lutkin's mother. And now everything was clear. The author came to know, he recognized him with the help of his partner, his companion, that this person himself is Oliver Lutkin, and he had cheated me. So yesterday we read some paragraphs, and you know it very well where we left yesterday. So the one who was reading, I think Naira Qureshi, you could tell the class where we left yesterday, what page number, which paragraph. Yes, remember page number? Page number 49. Yes? Yes or no? Say louder and clear. Page number 49. Where did we leave yesterday? I had told you to tick mark. Yes, Arushi. Arushi, remember where we left yesterday? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Didn't remember, sir.
Okay, tell me the page number. Page number 49 we have already finished, and page number 50, and there are certain questions given, those questions, and then we have to begin. I know that Bill's helplessness to the young fellow from the city. From here we shall read, if I am not mistaken. Yes or no? Got it or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so who is going to read? Raise your hand. Those who are interested in reading. No hands, so let me read it for you. No one is interested in reading. Page number 50, 50. Okay. So, till yesterday we had read that he had taken him to all these places. He had taken him to Fritz's house, Fritz shop, pool room, Gustav's barber shop for shaving, and finally he said that I am feeling hungry, and the author suggested him to buy lunch, but he said no, don't buy that greasy, that oily lunch. Rather, you come to my house, my wife can pack a very healthy lunch for us, and we can pack it and sit on the mountain and enjoy the meal over there. At the same time, we can enjoy the scenery, we can enjoy the landscape. So till here we had read yesterday. Yes, got it now? Now, question you would come to know, what more does Bill say about Lutkins and his family? So, when we read the following passage, you shall come to know what more details Bill say about Lutkins and his family. Does the narrator serve the summons that day? Does the narrator was he successful in serving the summon? And finally, who is Lutkins? So all these questions answer we shall get in the following, in the upcoming paragraph. Now I am reading for you. I know that Bill's helpfulness to the young fellow from the city was not entirely a matter of brotherly love. So the author himself, the author is saying that I know that Bill was not helping me because of brotherly love. He was helping me because he was getting money. I was paying him for his time. In the end, I paid him for 6 hours, including the lunch hour, at what was then a very high price. But he was no more dishonest than I. That means he was also very, very sincere. I charged the whole thing to the firm, but it would have been worth paying him myself to have his presence. He said, I charge everything, I put the bill, and the firm would pay on behalf of me. But if I had to pay myself personally, I would be happy. His cheerful country wisdom was very refreshing to a country boy like myself who was sick of the city. As we sat on the hilltop looking over the pastures and creek which slipped among the trees, he talked of New Mullion and painted a picture in words of all the people in it. So he is describing about the character of of Bill Magnuson. He is saying when we were having lunch, sitting there, he was talking to me about the village, about the villagers, and I all the picture, all the image of the village and villagers was set in my mind. I was very relaxed. I was very happy, very contented. He noticed everything, but no matter how much he might laugh at people, he also understood and forgave their foolishness. He described the minister's wife who sang the loudest in the church when she was most in debt. So here the author is reflecting it. He is reflecting everything for us. He is reflecting the words, the conversation he had sitting on the top of hill with Bill Magnuson, who himself was Oliver Lutkin, but the author, the lawyer, didn't know about it. He commented on the boys who came back from college in fancy clothes. He told about the lawyer whose wife could never succeed in getting him to put on both a collar and a tie on the same day. So, about all the funny people, funny incident, he made them all live. On that day, I came to know New Mullion better than I did the city and to love it better. And the author says that since that day, I started loving New Mullion, the village. But Bill didn't know about colleges and cities, but he had traveled around a lot of the country. So he was experienced and had a lot of jobs. He was very experienced and Bill had a lot of jobs. From his adventures, he had brought back a philosophy of simplicity and laughter. He strengthened me. So these are the views, these are the perception of the author towards Bill Magnuson. Bill Magnuson, who behaved very well like a gentleman, but he cheated him and he was influenced by his personality, his kind word. And later on, when the identity is revealed, he was a little shocked, disappointed. Yes, we continue. We left that peaceful scene of meadows and woods and resumed our search for Oliver Lutkins. So after having taken their lunch, they left the meadows, the grassland, the hill, the woods, the forest. We could not find him. At last, Bill cornered a friend of Lutkins and made him admit what he guessed. So finally, again, Bill used a trick in the corner. He indicated, he referred to Lutkins' friend, and he said that he surely knows where Lutkin is. He went to him and said, Oliver's gone out to his mother's farm 3 miles north. And that person, he said, Oliver is gone to his mother's farm. That is 3 miles north. So 3 miles is around 6 kilometers. We drove out there laying plans. So again he says that we went towards that direction and we were making plan in our mind. Yes. Now who else wanna read? Anybody interested in reading? Raise your hand. Charvi Gupta. Yes, Charvi, read where I left. I know from here.
Yes, sir. I know Oliver's mother. She's a terror. Bill sighed. I took a trunk out there for her once, and she almost took my skin off because I didn't treat it like a box of eggs. She is about 9 feet tall and 4 feet thick and as quick as a cat, and she sure can talk. I'll bet Oliver heard that somebody is chasing him, and he's gone on there to hide behind his mother's skirts. Well, we'll try her. But you had better let me do it, boy. You may be a great at literature and law, but you haven't had real training in swearing.
Okay.
We
So
drove
yes, just
over.
a minute. So the author said that now let's go and find him at Oliver's mother's house because he might be there. And he says that his mother is a terror. He shares his experience because it was his own mother. So simply he's making stories, he's cooking the stories, and he's saying he's trying to threaten him, frighten him. He's saying that one day I had gone to our mother's house, I had carried a trunk, a box, and I didn't treat the trunk carefully. I didn't put it carefully, and she was very angry at me. And he said that his mother is 9 feet tall and 4 feet thick, and she is as quick as a cat, very fast, very quick, and she sure can talk. I'll bet Oliver heard that somebody is chasing him, and he's gone there to hide behind his mother's skirt. He also said that I think Oliver might have got the news that somebody is chasing him, somebody is finding him, and he might have gone and hidden himself behind her mother. So we should go there. So what did the author say? Author says, well, we'll try her, but you would better let me do it. Author said, the lawyer said, I would do it. You might be good at literature.
No, sir, this Bill has said this.
Behind this mother's skirt, well, we'll try her, but you had better let me do it. Boy, let me do it, boy. Okay, okay. You may be great at literature and law, but you haven't had real training in swearing. Next, continue.
We drove into a poor farmyard. We were faced by an enormous and cheerful old woman. My guide bravely went up to her and said, remember me? I'm Bill Magnuson, a carter and hackman. I want to find your son Oliver. I don't know anything about Oliver and I don't want to, she shouted.
Okay,
Now
so
look
you see
here.
now, mother is not recognizing the son. That means they had already a good tuning. Both mother and the son, they had a very good tuning, very good understanding. And either he might have winked or he might have given, shown some gesture to his mother that you do not recognize me. I am acting as I am not Oliver Lutkin. So something he might have done. He was so clever, so cunning. Therefore, the mother said, I don't know. Otherwise, if they had not decided it already, mother would have said, stupid, why are you bothering me? You yourself, Oliver Lutkin. But it was no. So there was a good understanding, good tuning between mother and son. Continue.
Now look here. We have had just about enough nonsense. This young man represents the court in the city, and we have a legal right to search all the properties for this Oliver Lutkins. Bill made me sound very important, and the woman was impressed. She retired into the kitchen, and we followed. She seized an iron from the old fashioned stove and marched on us, shouting, you search all you want to, if you don't mind getting burnt first. She shouted and laughed at our frightened retreat.
So the
Let's get out of
lady,
here.
The mother of Oliver, she went inside and they thought that she is impressed and she allowed us to search the house. But she went inside the kitchen, brought one hot iron rod and started chasing them. And when they were running, when they were frightened, she started laughing. She started enjoying it. Yes, continue.
Yes, sir. Let's get out of here. She'll murder us. Bill whispered. Outside, he said, did you see her smile? She was laughing at us. I agreed that it was a pretty disrespectful treatment. We did, however, search the house. Since it was only 1 story high, Bill went round it, peering in at all the windows. We examined the barn and the stable. We were reasonably certain that Lutkins was not there. It was nearly time for me to catch the afternoon train, and Bill drove me to the station. On
Okay,
the
so
way to
they
the
searched
city,
the house, they went to the barn, to the stable, everywhere, but they couldn't find Oliver Lutkin. Yes, continue.
I worried very little over my failure to find Lutkins. I was too busy thinking about Bill Magnuson. Really, I considered returning to New Million to practice law. If I had found Bill so deep and richly human, might I not grow to love Fritz and Gustav and 100 other slow spoken, simple, wise neighbors? I pictured an honest and happy life beyond the strict limits of universities and law firms. I was excited. I had found a treasure. I had discovered a new way of life. But if I did not think much about Lutkins, the office did. I found them all upset. Next morning, the case was coming up in the court, and they had to have Lutkins. I was shameful, useless fool.
So he
That
was
morning,
shameful,
my
he was
promising
useless, he regretted, he was happy even though that he got experience of countryside. He got meeting the Freds and other villagers and Bill Magnuson. He was very happy while he was returning. He caught his afternoon train. He was excited, but at the same time he was sad because he knew what his boss would tell. Because the next day it was a presentation of a new of the case, and for the witness, Oliver Lutkin had to come, but he was unable to present the summon to Oliver Lutkin. Therefore, he was a little bit disappointed, unhappy. That morning, my promising legal career almost came to an end before it had begun. So he thought that now my career has been come to an end because I have been failed in completing my duties, my responsibilities. Continue.
Yes, sir. The chief almost murdered me. I hinted that I might do well at digging ditches. I was ordered back to New Mullion, and with me went a man who had worked with Lutkins. I was rather sorry because it would prevent my loafing all over again with Bill. When the train arrived at New Mullion, Bill was on the station platform near his cart. Strangely enough, that old tigress, Lutkin's mother, was there talking and laughing with Bill, not quarrelling at all. But from the train steps, I pointed Bill out to my companion and said, "Here, there's a fine fellow, a real man. I spent a day with him."
Okay, so now you understood what has happened. The author, he had returned to his office and his boss had scolded him. He said, "You are good for nothing. You just do well at digging ditches. You can only dig the ditches. You are good for nothing." And but he scolded him, shouted him, and he sent him again with another companion from the office because that companion, that person knew the identity. He had the identity of Oliver Lutkin. So both of them came to serve the notice. And when he went out of the station, he saw Bill Magnuson, who was there with his hack, and there was the same lady who had chased them with the iron rod, but now she was very quiet. She was talking very nicely, and he was a little bit surprised also, and indicating to his friend, he said, "Look at that. That's the man. That's the gentleman who had helped me. He is a very kind man." So he might have said, "Let's go and take help of him again. He is very good man. I have been helped by him." So he might have said all these things not mentioned here in the book. But then, what is the surprise? Yes, continue, Charvi.
He helped he helped you to hunt for Oliver Lutkins? Yes, he helped me a lot. He must have. He is Lutkins himself. What really hurt me was that when I served the summons, Lutkins and his mother laughed at me as though I were a bright boy of 7. With loving kindness, they begged me to go with them to a neighbor's house for a cup of coffee. "I told them about you and they are anxious to look at you," said Lutkins joyfully. "There are only folks in the town that missed seeing you yesterday."
So that's the end. What really hurt me was that when I saw the summon, Latkin and his mother, both of them laughed at him. Again, they made fun of him, and they were very, very humorous. And they also offered him a cup of tea. They said that, "Please come for a cup of tea to neighbor's house." And here it is says that, "I told them about you and they are anxious to look at you," said Lutkins joyfully. "They are about the only folks in the town that missed seeing you yesterday." So again, he is making a final comment, and he is saying that only the neighbors, they are devoid of you. Only the neighbors had not seen you yesterday. Rest everybody in the town, in the village, they had seen you. You were roaming with me. I was taking you around the town and you were searching for the same person who was taking you around the town. So this way again, finally, he made a comment on him, and both of them laughed at simplicity, at gullible nature of this lawyer. Lawyers, actually, it is believed, it is assumed that they are very clever, they are very cunning in the court, in the movies and other places. You might have seen that the lawyers are very, very confident, very cunning. They have many questions to ask. They are very reasonable, very logical person. But here it is just opposite. So there is just an irony in his name. That is the story by Sinclair Lewis about the hack driver, and I hope everybody has understood the story. Yes?
Yes,
All
sir.
understood? Anybody has any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Yes? What
No
doubt?
doubt, sir.
No doubt.
No, sir.
So all of you have understood and all of you are happy. So we shall discuss the questions and answer of this chapter, but not today. Today we shall just again go for a quick recap of whatever we have read by any one of you. I would be asking you to share the summary, but before that, some questions given here in the book itself. Let me ask you, what more does Bill say about Lutkins and his family? Yes. So on the basis of your reading, you answer, what more information does Bill say about Lutkins and his family? So in his family, there was only his mother. So what did he say about Lutkins and his family? Yes, Charvi. What more?
Sir, Bill says about Lutkins and his mother, especially his mother, that she was very fierce, and she was 9 feet tall and 4 feet wide, and she was very quick, and she was just simply,
As quick as cat.
yes, she was as quick as cat, and she got angry very quickly, and she would just beat everyone all
Okay.
around.
Yes, yes. Does the narrator serve the summons that day? Does the narrator serve the summons that day? No? Yes, Charvi?
No, sir, the narrator is not able to serve the summons that day because he was not able to find Oliver Lutkins.
Okay. Yes, answer me, Naira. Who is Lutkins? Who was Lutkin?
So Lutkins was the hack driver.
Only that much?
Um yes, sir.
Elaborate more. Say some more thing.
Sir, shall I?
Arshi, who was Lutkins? Insha, Insha, Dev, who was Lutkins? Okay, Mohit, say.
Sir, he was a witness.
Elaborate, say 4 5 sentences at least.
Sir, he was a witness and
He was a hack
Sir,
driver.
shall I?
Okay, yes, Charvi, say.
Sir, Oliver Lutkins was Bill Magnuson himself, who disguised him as Bill and moved with the author the whole day. And he was a hack driver, and he was summoned to be a witness in court. And he was very experienced He had traveled almost all around the country and experienced many things, new adventures, which he tells to the author.
All right, very good. So today all of you go and read the chapter again, and tomorrow we shall discuss the question answer plus the story. So this is your task, all of you. You must be able to tell the story in your own word. It is like a story competition. You should be able to tell the story in your own words, and after that we shall discuss the question answer. So randomly I would ask few of you to say the story. Anyone it could be. So be ready, Mohit, Arshi, Charvi, Dev, Divyansh, Insha, Krish, Paru, all those who are present in the class, all must be able to say the story grammatically correct, properly, with proper pronunciation in your own words. Okay, so that's it for today. Okay, see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank
Goodbye.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, goodbye, all of you.